Hello and welcome to Council of Nerds. So today we are going to discuss who is the best Spider-Man. As we know, over the years there has been three major Spider-Mans in live-action movies, not including Miles Morales because that's a different animated movie. But will be talking about the three Spider-Mans that have been released so far, and it has been a long-standing discussion, argument that which Spider-Man movie was the best, which Spider-Man was the best. So today in this podcast, we will be concentrating, and hopefully at the end of the discussion, we will be able to give a conclusive answer, maybe that who is actually the best Spider-Man according to us, and hopefully you will find this discussion helpful also. So with that being said, let's start.
Talking about the first Spider-Man film, it was released in 2002, directed by Sam Raimi and acted by Tobey Maguire, uh, James Franco, and it is very special for me because, like at that time, seeing that character on screen after seeing that character fighting in comics and like listening stories about the character and getting those action figures after seeing those action figures and seeing that action figure actually fighting in the screen, that was very much fascinating for me. And
Action figure and pencil box, Spider-Man
yeah,
pencil
yeah,
box.
I remember that. Like I used to have a pencil box of Spider-Man and a pen of Spider-Man, like it was drawn Spider-Man drawn pencil, so that's very special for me.
Following in the footsteps of Tobey Maguire, and then came almost a decade later, in 2012, came Andrew Garfield with the first Amazing Spiderman movie, which was directed by Mark Webb. And also we see in this movie there was no Mary Jane, there was Gwen
Stacy,
but
yeah.
who also dies in the second movie. But then I thought they will now, spoiler alert, yeah, my apologies not for mentioning that. Anyways, so I thought after she passed away, I thought Mary Jane will be introduced, but then the franchise was cancelled and
then the franchise died.
the franchise died. Yeah. So the main thing that I took away from the movie was that after watching the first three movies, the main difference that I saw was in the improvement those were made in VFX. We see everything in proper balance, the villain, the heroes, everything, even the background, everything changed. That we were entering a modern world, everything was properly showcased in it.
So for the next iteration of Spider-Man, we see Tom Holland is acting as a Spider-Man, and so this Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War. So when I first saw the trailer of Civil War, my mind was totally blown away. Like, how come Spider-Man is coming in Avengers? And that was a grand entry, like that superhero entry that we saw in other movies, like in Deadpool and all. So Spider-Man's first feature film came in 2017, which was directed by John Watts. And in this film, we see how Spider-Man returns back. Here, a new villain was introduced. Like I have no idea which villain it was. Like the Vulture villain. It was in the comics, but it was never seen before in the it never seen before in the movies. So it was kind of interesting.
The main thing of this Tom Holland movie is like it was the first time it came to Avengers, and from 2007 I mean from 2007 I was waiting for this moment that Spider-Man will be coming in contact with Iron Man and this Captain America guys. I thought this will be a grand thing, and exactly Marvel Studios didn't disappoint us. They did a grand entry of Spider-Man, and that made our mind so nostalgic at that time that in 2002 2012 we saw those films, and after coming long so long these years, we thought of this integration between Spider-Man and Marvel, this Avengers, that just.
And today this Spider-Man is the flag bearer of Avengers now.
Exactly, yeah.
So after this wonderful introduction of the three of the Spider-Mans we got from all of our participants today in our today's discussion, let's start with the main topic in hand, deciding who is the best Spider-Man. So I would like to tell our audience that we are judging the Spider-Mans in mainly two criteria. First is as a character, which includes their casting choice, their acting abilities, and also how the surrounding characters around them helped them to mend them to the Spider-Man universe. And also the second criteria is about the quality of the movie that was made, that how the story was, how the villain was, how the action was, and how the VFX was, which is basically how the film was made. So let's start with the first criteria and how these three Spider-Mans compare with each other according to this first criteria, which is according to the character. So Shayan, what do you think?
So according to me, Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man. So from the childhood, I'm seeing Tobey Maguire in the three movies. So it has a some childhood connection also, like a nostalgia.
Hmm.
And talking about why he is best, I have to talk about other Spider-Mans like Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. So as a casting choice, he was, according to me, best because he looked like a nerdy kid in the college, and he was also confused with his life, where he was going, because like at a he was changing from a teenager to adult. So like all the traits were in him, but in Andrew Garfield's character, he was too confident, and I think he was too not so shy, like the comic version of Peter Parker. So that is one flaw which I find, and another is like the action sequences was much uh, bigger, and I liked it much more than that of the Andrew Garfield's one, because I think that's because of the direction technique and all that. And
Hmm.
as it was directed by Sam Raimi, so
Hmm.
he is one of the greatest directors. So now coming to Tom Holland, why I do not like him, and rather I like Tobey Maguire, because as a character I don't find any flaw with Tom Holland, as he is perfect for the age which he is representing Spider-Man. Like in the same comics, he's like a 17-year-old kid, and he is also a nerdy one, and everything is fine. But the main difference is like the movie. It is too techy, and too technological aspect is much higher, which I don't
Hmm.
like. Like every time he's taking help from Iron Man, or like all the gadgets, too many gadgets. But Spider-Man should be capable of doing himself, like what Toby has done in his films. Like
Hmm.
that is the main difference which I find.
I would rather say Andrew Garfield was much more confident. Like he had a very confidence walla face actually, but Tobey Maguire lacked in it, and that was what Spider-Man is. Spider-Man was not actually a very open like what to say extrovert. He was not an extrovert. He was very introvert, a shy person. So that was the only that was well, not the only that was a a thing which made Spider-Man Spider-Man. And yeah, and talking about Tobey Maguire especially, he was the first Spider-Man. Like I I already said that he already have a special place in my heart. But the things which Andrew Garfield film depicted, like not the film, he depicted that he was. I would rather say if he's wearing the mask, after that he's a perfect, like his figure structure is, I think that was very perfect. Comparing with Tom Holland, like his character is a perfect match with the comics. Like in comics, the character is of 15 to 17 years age old. So I think that what I liked about Tom Holland films. But as if I talk about acting, I guess Tobey Maguire is much more advanced. He was a peak of these three Spider-Man uh, films.
So let me see if I can, because I was really having a hard time trying to compare in order to try to see like from the point of view of the directors and the casting directors, because when we see the casting choices, I think it is quite obvious that Tom Holland is clearly the most appropriate one to pick. Like before we have seen any of them acting, like because he is the youngest one who looks like a kid, so
Yeah,
that is
but
appropriate
still
in.
still one thing, like in comics also he was 15 years old, but along with that he was tall and like after getting the powers he had a good physique, which Tom Holland, I think, yeah, he do have a good physique,
He
but
has a good physique, but he's short height.
that is not very observant. Like it was not shown in the film so much.
Yes.
Yeah, but Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire doesn't look teenagers at all. Like
No,
by a
absolutely
big
not.
stretch, they look like fully grown men.
Yeah.
But Tom Holland does. So that is why I can see why anyone would say that he is the like perfect casting choice. But I am not going into the other areas. But let's go to the acting part, because when you get into the acting part, then you can see where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield can compare with Tom Holland. When we watched all the movies, like we can clearly see that like the first choice who came in 2002 as Spider-Man was clearly quite polished and like justified the actual character of Spider-Man that was shown in the comics. I really liked it. But let's not take anything away from Andrew Garfield. Like I'll say this, like what is the best thing about him is that his chemistry with Emma Stone was, I think, the best in terms of which was even better than Zendaya and Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst. Like his chemistry where they came together, like the beginning scene where in the high school hallway they see each other, that shyness that was shown quite perfect. That chemistry was flawless. I think it was even better than both the others. I really like that one as well.
So talking about my choice and who I think as a character was a better Spider-Man, and I think this is going to be a controversial one, but I liked the best Andrew Garfield. I think Shankadeep touched upon it a bit, but that is my main point, because I think Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man because he looked like Spider-Man. Means okay, for me Tom Holland is too young to be a Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire was too old to be a Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Andrew Garfield just hit the sweet spot of what age should he be, and what type of person who he should be. And I think, yeah, I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was introvert, as you said, but Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was also introvert, not that as much as that him, but also, and which one thing that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man missed, that Tobey Maguire or that Peter Parker was not that much of a tech head, and that's why like technology was not that advanced. So I think the director could not include so much technological things into the movie in that Spider-Man, which Andrew Garfield Spider-Man had. And we remember when Andrew Garfield was making that one and trying different things out with these big glasses, sitting on the roof of his home. So yeah, that's why I liked the Amazing Spider-Man more than both of the Spider-Mans actually. And yeah, and I think the characters it was a shame when it was cancelled. But yeah, and also the chemistry between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield was one of the best on-screen chemistry between a Spider-Man and her girlfriend, because I think they were also like dating in real life. Maybe that was a factor at that time to be better. But yeah, I think by far Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man for me in terms of character and acting. But also I think, yeah, for acting Tobey Maguire takes the flag here, because he is a better actor, because he's more matured as an actor when he's playing Spider-Man.
Yeah. At the time, I think means like if he plays everyone playing Spider-Man and their ages, like Tobey Maguire is the oldest one.
Oldest, yes.
Among the three.
Yes.
He's a veteran among them.
He's a veteran actually.
Okay, so moving on to the second category, that is the cinematics and the cinema as a movie, which was comparing the Spider-Mans according to the movie that was released. Let me begin this one first. For me, as a movie, I think yes, the first Spider-Mans were better. The first trilogy was better. In fact, but yeah, the first Spider-Man movie was a bit off, but 1 and 2 was fantastic, and like everyone, the supporting cast in that movie, like J.K. Simmons as that I forgot the name, as the reporter. So I think as a movie, as a with the action, with the casting and all together, and I think that the first one was the best. And also I would say why the others are not best. I think the Marvel's Spider-Man, which is right now, I just don't like it as a Spider-Man movie. I think if there was no Marvel universe, and if someone made this Spider-Man movie, nobody would have liked it. The references to the like constantly they're making references to the main Avengers movie or the other Avengers to make this movie stand, and which I absolutely did not like. I mean, Spider-Man deserves a standalone movie, a true standalone movie that is
Yes.
like true to itself. And yeah, Andrew Garfield's I just short one. Andrew Garfield's I did not like. Again, uh, as a story, they did not offer something new. I mean, they were doing a modern version of the same story. So yeah, maybe Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man as a whole, but the movie was the same movie, like a remake of the old movie. So that's why I think the first one was better. I know I gave a long answer. Sorry, guys. You can
Oh,
take your time as well.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
So could it, yeah.
Yeah, talking
Like
about
we do in a reverse order now today.
yeah,
okay.
talking
Hmm.
about talking about a movie. Like in a movie, you need be in especially a superhero movie, you should be needing a good cast. You should be needing a good VFX and good actors.
Hmm.
Most of the important things. And Tobey Maguire as an actor, I have discussed earlier. Also, he's one of the veteran of this of the three, and
Hmm.
that's the reason I like this film. And also the technologies which is like Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. It's a
Hmm.
the bridge between this two movies was technology, nothing else. Because in we can see that the technology is changing day by day in our in day-to-day life also. And so in the
Hmm.
like a 10-year gap, and after the 10-year gap, Amazing Spider-Man is getting a good platform, a good VFX to make its movie
Hmm.
realistic in that sense. But you can just like you said already, like Tobey Maguire movies doesn't have those had those things at that time. But still, like characters like J.K. Simmons, like the reporter
Reporter.
you were talking about, the laugh, that laugh is it's hysterical. Okay, that laugh is very hysterical. And uh, the times when in any Andrew Garfield film, like scene was there when Gwen was going down, and the web was also like it was trying to catch the hand. That scene, it's a epic film, epic scene for me.
Hmm.
And talking about Tom Holland movie, I don't like that person. I don't like that person's attitude towards a film, like how a superhero movie should be made. It's I don't see that thing in that guy, like Tom Holland. And talking about this other casts in this
Hmm.
in Andrew Garfield movie, um, I will say that villains were best in Andrew Garfield movies. Because
Hmm.
we have seen Jamie Foxx as Electro. So
Oh,
that's one
that
of my
was
favorite.
iconic.
That's one of my favorite.
But I found the movie crap.
The movie's crap. The movie's crap. I am saying the movie's
Hmm.
absolute crap. Like it should be thrown out in the drain. But still, the VFX,
Not.
the VFX that Electro was,
Yeah.
it was very terrifying. Like when I saw that film in, I think it was the second film, I guess,
I think the Amazing Spider-Man. Yes.
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. The story was bad, but the VFX was great.
Okay, so let me see if I can add something new to this discussion. See, in the first criteria, I added about the love interest part. What I'll say is why I like the Andrew Garfield one the best, because I think uh, that has the perfect blend. Like Pakar here said, he in terms of acting, he had the perfect balance, like in terms of age and in terms of how he looked. I think in the relationship part also, it had the perfect balance, because I think Tom Holland's movie had like a little too juvenile, and Harry Maguire was like a little too
Harry.
matured for that. But
Anyway,
not Harry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so the Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst was a little too mature for me in that movie. But so I thought the Emma Stone was by far the perfect female character in
This
all
is a
the
superhero
movies.
movie, not a romantic movie.
No, but that is an important part of the movie, his relationship.
Yes.
So you have to talk about that. So that is why I said like that felt a lot more juvenile. Like those were actual kids. Like I am talking about the perfect blend here. Like she was like
hmm.
completely shocked, and after that, like he just jumped off the roof and she went in. Yeah, that was. And talking about the other aspects, I think the best villain for me, I cannot believe any one of you like didn't even mention this guy. That's Doctor Octopus.
Octopus. No, I
Yes.
I
I
didn't
was
I
going to
You
didn't
guys
I
mention.
are
didn't
like
mention I
I was
didn't
going to
mention it
mention.
because I didn't mention
I'm
it because
disappointed.
For-
I'm just disappointed. You guys do not
But for
mention.
me, I
I
think
will mention in
Green
my
Goblin was better.
in my discussion.
No, maybe in terms of acting, but in terms of an iconic villain, Doctor Octopus just, oh my god, that
He's the
especially that
best.
train scene.
Yeah.
Oh my,
That
they were
is
trying
true.
to
that
drop.
was
Oh my
brilliant
god.
scene. The
Yeah.
train scene.
And finally, I'll just say, like, out of all the movies, if I had to rank the top 3 movies, I would say like the first 2 movies, Spider-Man movie, and the absolute penultimate movie that came out, that is Far From Home. And why I'm saying
You
this,
like
I'm
Far
adding.
From Home?
Yes, there is a reason. There is a reason, of course, because when I saw the reviews, everyone was saying that I predicted that Jack Gyllenhaal would be the villain, But while I was watching the movie, like I for not even for once realized that he would turn out to be the villain at the end. I was totally convinced that this time they're going to help each other. They're going to be a very good thing. But when all the drone shots came in, like it was just a fluke. Like everything was happening through drones. That was, and the best twist came even after that. When spoiler alert again, at the very end, when we see that Jake Gyllenhaal, Mysterio, like trying to frame Tom Holland. At the very end, when we see that after the credits show. When they were standing
His
in the crowd,
identity. Yes, his identity
his
is.
identity was
I
revealed.
think the best there was J.K. Simmons cameo there as the
Yes, J.K.
reporter.
Simmons cameo. Like yeah,
That was the best.
that
That
was
was
the
good
best.
as well. Yeah, so for me, I think the first Spider-Man movie will always be undisputed in that case. Like,
As a movie. So I think we
yeah.
got 3 already. So I think it is an undisputed winner. But anyways, Shayan.
So for me, Spider-Man 2 was the best movie out of all because yes, Spider-Man
Yeah, Dr.
because of
Octopus.
the yes mainly because of the villain and the plot. Like losing your power and then gaining it back and then fighting your villain. That plot is like the best out of
The
all.
best of superhero plot that can be. Losing your
Yes.
power and then beating it back.
Oh.
Anyways, so second category, I think it's a full flash of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
think everyone
Yes.
of us chose Spider-Man 1 and Shayan chose Spider-Man 2. So,
Yes.
so I think we put forward some new points for you guys to think about today, and hopefully you guys will make a decision after that. We thought so individually. I think we should go give one word answer. Who is your favorite Spider-Man? So Shayan, one word. Who is your favorite Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire any day.
Samrat?
That wasn't one word. That was 3 words.
Whatever.
Anyways, definitely Tobey Maguire, but I would say Tom Holland because he is the current one.
Shankuli.
Tobey Maguire. No one else.
Okay, so for me, I think I will stick with Andrew Garfield because he looks more like a Spider-Man, even if his movies were crap. So with that, thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and keep waiting for our new podcast. Thank you, everyone. Bye.